there today. Really, really good practice. 14, spirited day. We got a lot of work in on third down, 2-minute end of game situations, which I think will be valuable to us. We started the process on Tuesday of starting to work Jamil Pollard a little bit on offense, build some depth and give us another guy with a big, strong, athletic body to work with on the offensive line. I think that'll be a good move for him going forward. Questions?
Guard tackle there?
Guard. Yeah, he'd be an inside guy right now. I think I'm pleased with Bateem and Derek. I don't think you could ever have enough centers, but I think I feel good about that. Brian Leone's played some center for us. I think to move a guy over and immediately put him at center, I think would be tough. But guard, at least give him a chance to get his legs under him a little bit on offense.
How has Jamil reacclimated to being part of the being on the field?
I think he's done a good job. I think he's done a good job working through the spring, and we had already as a staff had some discussions about potentially trying him on offense, and he actually came to me before I came to him and said he'd like to do it, and that's always a good thing. I think when a player is excited about a change, I think it helps him.
On Saturday, any idea how many plays you think you'll be able to go with depth and everything?
The previous 2 scrimmages, we've been over a little bit over 100. So I think we'll be somewhere in that 80 to 100 range on Saturday.
How has Ian Thomas been this year, reacclimating after everything that happened?
I think he's had a good spring on the field. I think he's learning how to work day by day, and getting a chance to be in all the install meetings is certainly a positive. He was in quite a few last year, and now having a chance to do it again this spring has certainly helped him. Talented player, somebody we think can help us next year. I'm pleased so far.
How have the players received him? I mean, is that everything just kind of go business as usual when he came back?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think the players have welcomed him back as part of the family, and like anything else, everybody in the family's got a job to do, and they got to pull their own weight. I think he's doing that.
When you reinstated him to the team, it was on a condition. He was reinstated conditionally. I mean, obviously, he still has to meet the same conditions everybody else meets, but are you satisfied that he's met those? Is he no longer on a conditional welcome back?
I think that all that stuff gets decided after spring. I think to say anything about that before even the end of spring, we'll have a checkout procedure as a team Monday and Tuesday following the spring game before the coaches go on the road recruiting full time, and we'll sort through all those things.
Okay, I know Philip Nelson hasn't done much in the first 2 scrimmages. Will you give him a chance to do something in the spring game, just maybe so fans can get a look at him?
We will. Everybody will participate in the spring game, so he'll definitely have an opportunity. And even watching some of the opportunities he's had in individual, I love his attitude. It's not an easy situation for him. Somebody who's been playing in games now for 2 years, and now he's not eligible. So we have to use the reps obviously to settle our quarterback situation. So when he gets an opportunity, he jumps right in there and throws the ball well. And I'm excited for his future after this year.
Anybody for the spring game who's not going to be able to? I mean, we know the injuries and everything, but anybody else or anybody coming back that'll be able to?
No, everybody who's practicing will participate to some degree. Now, certainly some guys who. There's some players on our team who've been in the competitive environment, the competitive arena on quite a few occasions, and I think they'll play, but maybe not as much as some of these younger guys who I think need to be out there in front of a live crowd in the stadium, performing in a game situation. I think those will be the guys who will probably get more reps on Saturday.
And Leonte, no?
Leonte will not, no.
Is it going to be a mix of 1s and 2s together, or 1s versus 2s? Did you decide that?
We're going to settle that this afternoon as a staff. Give you a little preview, but I can't do that just yet.
Kyle, how has your outlook on the quarterback position changed now that you've gotten an extensive body of work of just the 3 guys instead of having to rep in 5?
Well, I think we've got 3 guys we can win with, that's for sure. And now, the spring game will be part of the evaluation, and then we have an off season and then a training camp to really see how they fall 1, 2, and 3. But I do think we've got 3 guys that can help us win football games next year, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good number.
Cal, this is probably the last thing on your mind right now, but it's the last time we'll talk to you before the NFL draft, and you played 3 guys, Bridgewater, Bortles, and Carr, who are supposed to be first, second-round picks. Was there something about those 3 guys, defining thing that you're like, oh, these guys are definitely NFL quarterbacks because of this?
Yeah, I think the presence on the field is very noticeable with all 3 of those players, and a little more experience against Teddy than the other 2. But I think all 3 of them, when they're out there, you can see they have a command of the field that is on a different level than a lot of the other quarterbacks that you see. And I felt after the season that all 3 would be NFL quarterbacks and be pretty highly coveted guys. I'll leave it up to the NFL teams and the experts to figure out exactly what that means. But it doesn't surprise me they're getting the kind of attention that they are.
Got time for 2 more.
Kyle, from talking to guys this spring, it seems like they kind of came in with a chip on their shoulder. Is that something you picked up on, and how much do you think that could benefit them?
I think it's a good thing. I think, we're proud of the fact that we've gone to 8 bowl games in 9 years, but we also don't see ourselves as a 6-6 team in the regular season. So, our expectation level is higher than that as a program, and I think the players embrace that, and I think that's a little bit of what you're feeling.
Kyle, what would you say is one thing that you really learned from watching these 14 practices?
Well, I think we've got more depth now than we did at the beginning, and that's critical. And I think there might be people who say that that's a natural function of spring every year, but I don't know that it happens every year in the spring. Sometimes it takes longer, and I think that's the most important thing that we've gotten out of this spring is we've been able to build some depth and find some guys that can make plays, and we've got some guys who I think have taken their game to another level. The guy who jumps out is a guy like Desmond Peoples, who hasn't played a lot for us in his first 2 years here, but I could see having a much bigger role next year.